Hey YouTubers, Rob here with a long-awaited development diary update on Pivotus. There wasn't a diary. I should clarify it straight away. I didn't publish a diary last week, primarily for technical reasons. Had a case of my internet connection at home being really flaky, as there was some accidental line damage done, which was fun to find out. But also because last week, being that I spent most of the week attending GCAP. There wasn't much development done afterwards, so otherwise it would have had one for last week but not one for this week, and I'd rather have one for this week because to sort of wrap everything up. But with that out of the way, sit down and have a quick play of where the game is at now. It's not quite further than I'd like to be, which seems to be the case. I'm completely not going to make the October deadline. That's probably for the best that I originally set. So I'll dive in, have a quick play, talk about just some of the other stuff, where it's at, where it's going based on some of the feedback. So, firstly, visually is this tunnel. So I originally demoed the game 2 weeks ago at IGDA Melbourne, which is sort of the Melbourne chapter of the International Game Dev Association. There's a lot of studio and independent developers and students. They had a night that was pretty much a open, demo some builds and sort of show what the C community's been up to type thing. So I had a quick introduction to the game. I actually played the video from the last diary, and just had my computer set up with the build, with this build. So based on feedback, one of the things was to sort of center the fact that the player can't move, give them sort of reason. So I sort of played around with this tunnel. I need to work on it further, so I like the idea of make it look like you're actually flying down the tunnel, sort of going down the tunnel, which I know kind of starts dragging into, say, Tempest territory. I've also done some work on the shield. You could see in the prior build, the shield was a 360, gave you 360 degree coverage, but by making it now only cover the front half, there's an extra bit of challenge that you need to now be swiveling to line up. I also got rid of the second internal layer just for the visual effect. I think it looks a lot better now. And also fixed up a bunch of state bugs, although it's not 100% fixed. I'm actually going to link. I've actually put this build up with the web player. So again, you can have a play if you're so interested. I've also done a bunch of work tweaking wave patterns. There was a lot of feedback I got from the last video about working on that, and actually spent the day before the original build demoing that. And it seems, there's still more to go. I think I may need to do another pass. There's a lot. I've got a lot more sound in there now. I think that helps make the game feel a bit more alive. And I've also been working on a bit of a scoring system. So there's now a score multiplier. I need to actually put some effects into the game to sort of show that it's there. And at the moment, when I've been testing inside Unity's editor, I just have some debug output that just tells me what the state is. And you can sort of see as well that now there's a concept of extra lives, and I've sort of scaled that a bit compared to a simple pattern that the old arcade pattern a lot of old arcade games use, which was first life at 20, next life at 60, and then every 60 after that. I've used that pattern but scaled down. So first is at 5,000. Then I believe so I divided by 4. Then 15. Then at 15. Then every 15 after that. So that's kind of where the game is. I think it's playable. I still need to do a lot of tuning. I'm probably going to spend this week doing a pass on some of these other levels again, as I've been playing. I haven't had a chance to play, but I watched a video for an old C64 game called Revolution. I never actually played, but I've heard the name, and I think I might have seen it once or twice. And I don't know if it was a subconscious thing, but it's a similar style blaster where you're center of the screen, but whereas I've made the decision to have the player rotate, that has the whole screen rotating. And I know some people kind of get a bit motion sickness from that. So I guess I've done a little differently, but it's an interesting little game. I'll link a video below as well, you can sort of see. And looking at that sort of got me thinking, about things I could do a little better. And again, I mean, one of my biggest concerns has been trying to like increase the flow. I think I need to do a lot more. Like, I think that some of the wave design needs to be worked on a little more. So that's pretty much where everything's at now. I mean, this week I think it's really just about wave design again. I really want to try and tune these early waves and get them feeling really good. If I can do that, then I think I can start working on like new enemies and new mechanics. There's one mechanic I want to do, just introduce sort of like the idea of sort of walls. So what would happen is you could only there will be walls like between the player and the enemies, and you'll need to actually rotate. The walls will rotate, but they'll also be blastable. So you need to blast through a hole, and then you might get something like Star Castle in reverse, where now you're the enemy, you're in the center of the walls that you need to blow through, but do some cool work around that. That's something I want to play around with, but only when I've sort of got this first set of waves complete. And then, of course, I really want to do, like, sort of, end of wave boss type things. So there's a lot of that area is stuff I still need to work on. I'm hoping now this week everything's going to quieten down a bit this week, that I can sort of start knuckling down and working on some of that. I also want to start looking at making this tunnel effect a little more interesting. Scaling, have different shaped tunnels. I've started modeling some, although I need to work out how to improve sort of the vertex color. You can sort of see the light. The light is a bit jumpy, and a lot of that stuff. And hopefully, I'm hoping to make the gameplay a little more interesting. So like I said, I'm going to have this build link down below, and you'll be able to use the Unity web player to give it a shot. Again, comments and feedback would be greatly appreciated. I'm sort of getting back on the horse again. It's just these last couple of weeks have been really distracting. I think they were a lot more distracting than I thought they were going to be. And I still foolishly had that over-optimistic charm of, I can finish this in a month. But my idea of what that could be, and the wider community's idea, greatly different. But I think that's going to mean a better game. So I think that's pretty much everything. So take a look at the build if you have a spare moment at lunch or in the evening. See some feedback. As I said, I don't know if there's anything. I mean, one of these things that I guess I was struggling a bit is this sort of wave pattern. I mean, it seems to be I'm stuck on the waves, doing them right. So if there's any kind of game you may have played that might do some cool wave patterns that could be worth checking out, I would love to hear some suggestions. As I said, doing some research and being able to have more research, more things to research would also be a great idea. Thanks again for watching. I hope this hasn't been too long compared to the original video. Looking forward to hearing feedback, and I'm hoping you're all interested in how the game goes. Cool. Thanks again.